everybody, my name is Dennis Jensen and this is a new tutorial. In this tutorial we will be going over how to rig your hand. So it's gonna be a short and quick one, hopefully. I will start out by showing you how to make controllers for the fingers. You can make a controller for every joint in the finger, but I find it more easy for the animators if you only have one controller for each finger, and then if they want to tweak only one joint in the finger, they can use the custom attributes that we will be making just after. In the end, we will constrain the joints to the controllers by using a plus-minus average node, and it's pretty much the same thing as we did for the spine, so it's pretty easy. Before we start, I had kind of a funny story. As some of you might know, I'm from Denmark, and Denmark is a really tiny country in the middle of Europe. And I actually saw a YouTube movie that says Denmark is the happiest country in the world, even though we have the biggest taxes. So it's pretty funny. But anyway, we had an assignment in school where we had 10 minutes to draw a Danish person, a Chinese person, and an Afro-American person. So we all sat down and was drawing for 10 minutes, and then our teacher took all the drawings, and he was scanning them all in so we could see them. And in the end, we saw them, and half of the Danish persons were holding a beer in their hand. It was pretty crazy. I think Denmark is the country that drinks the most. Also, maybe that's why we're so happy. I don't know, but it's pretty funny. And was all the Chinese person was tiny eyes and big teeth and kind of a funny hat. So it's a fun little exercise. But anyway, we should get started with the tutorial. So I'm just gonna take a sip of water, and then we are ready. Yes, this is the file we got last time. We have our character with the arm rig. If you haven't done the previous rigging tutorials, you can find them on polyface.com. Anyway, I will start out by showing you how to make a controller for the fingers. And what I like to do is, if you go to polygons, you can make a cylinder. So I'm just gonna make a cylinder. And you might think this is a bit weird, but you'll just have to go with it for now. It will make sense in the end. So I'm just changing the subdivisions axis, so it will have 6 subdivisions. And this is what we want, 6 subdivisions. So then, if you hold down space, you can go to a middle mouse button. You get this view. I'm gonna go to the top view. And if you press F in the view, you will focus your new object. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna move it a bit, and I'm gonna go to create CV curl tool option box, and I'm gonna make sure this is set to 1 lineary. And then I'm gonna hold V. I'm just gonna click the points. This will make a controller for us, and it doesn't matter that you go over the same point twice. And then I'm just gonna do like this, going down and going up, so I end at this point. And then I'm gonna go a bit out. Oops, that was a bit too much. If you press backspace, you can go back a bit. So I got this now, and if you hold X instead of V, it will snap to the grid. So now I'm holding X and pressing here, and then I'm pressing enter to create the curve. If you now go to perspective, you can see that we made this fun little controller. You can delete the polygon, and if you go to modify center pivot, you got the pivot there, but if you press insert, you can change the pivot. I would like it to be at the root of the controller, and that's basically the controller we want to make. So the next step is to we would like some custom attributes, and for that we're going to make the custom attributes before we duplicate the controller. And we're going to do this because this will make sure that all the custom attributes are named the same. And this means if you select this controller and, for example, this controller, you can see that you can actually move both of them just by selecting X and moving. And you want to be able to select all the controllers on your fingers, and then with the custom attributes you can rotate the first joint by using the same attributes. That's why they need to be named the same, and this is the way to make sure that they're all named the same. So that's basically it. I'm gonna make the attributes. I'm first gonna take the controller a bit higher so it will actually fit the hand. I'm gonna hold V, and then I'm gonna snap it about there. I can't really see if it's snapped correctly. I'm still holding V now to snap it to the first joint in the first finger. And you can see it's very big, so it shouldn't be this big, of course. I'm just gonna rotate it in the way I like it. Sounds a bit kinky. Okay. And for now I'm just gonna leave it at this. I'm gonna go to edit, add attribute, and the first one should be bend. Oh, actually I'm gonna call it bands, and I'm gonna make 3 underlines, or whatever it's called. I'm gonna make a nice name, and I'm just gonna make this displayable. I'm gonna press add. This makes an attribute that you can't really do anything with. And then I'm gonna make one called bend base. This should be keyable and to float, and default should be 0. Go press add. Bend middle, the same settings, so default should be 0. And then bend tip, default 0, and then you get your bends. So that's basically it. In this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to make one finger and then the thumb, because I feel like those are the most important ones, but basically it's the same thing for all the fingers. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna duplicate the controllers just to show you that this is what you should do, and then I'm gonna make the first finger work, or the pointing finger, and then I'm gonna work on the thumb. So I hope that's enough for you guys to figure out the rest, because I don't think you want to be sitting and listening to me all day. So we got the control now, so I'm just gonna duplicate it, move it to the side, and I'm gonna select the original one, and I'm gonna call it I just have to check the naming convention. Left, okay, so I'm gonna call it left hand, F and G for finger, pointing finger, and control. So this is gonna be my naming convention for the fingers. And now I'm or maybe I should have scaled it down before. Yeah. So I'm just scaling it so it fits a bit better. And I think this is kind of a nice controller for the finger. I'm gonna delete the first one again because we want the same scale on everything. And then I'm gonna duplicate the new one. I'm gonna move it. Oops. Sorry about the sound there. I'm gonna move it, and this is gonna be I think it's the index finger or ring finger. Let's call it I for index. If I'm wrong, you could check out at Wikipedia if it's right, but it doesn't really matter right now. This is mostly just for showing out how to do it. So the thing now is you want the same orientation on this controller that you have on your joint. So with the controller selected, you shift select your joint and you press P. This makes the controller a child of the joint. And then you can see here that these two attributes are about 90. So I'm guessing that they will have to be 90 to fit the rotation, because we still want how to say it? We still want them to have to not be let me show you. If I set this to 0, it will be down here, and you can't really use that for anything. So we want these two to be 90 degrees to show it a bit more nicely. And you can see now that the joint doesn't really align with how your rotation of your finger should be. So I'm just gonna rotate it a bit, selecting the joint. Oh, actually I'm gonna select the root joint, and I'm gonna rotate it, and I'm just gonna do this on eye measuring, so it fits a bit more nicely. And you can see this is more like the way we want it. So if you take this joint and rotate it down, you can see it fits a bit better. I can do this because I didn't skin mine yet, so I suggest if you skinned it, you should detach the skin. If you already painted weights on it, you can export the skin and then import it again. But anyway, I'm gonna freeze transformations on this one, and then I'm gonna press Shift P to unparent it. I'm gonna press Control D to duplicate it. We want to duplicate it because we need a new group to make an orientation of it, because we want all these attributes to be zeroed out, and the way to do that is to make a group above it. So we're gonna call this Control Area, and if you press the little plus sign, you can get the shape. If you don't got the plus sign, you can go to Display and Display Shapes. So this might be the way it looks like. If you press Display Shapes, you can see the shapes. I'm gonna delete the shape. So now I got an empty group without any shape. You can see I can move it around. It's just an empty group. And I'm gonna middle mouse drag the controller down in the group, and this zeroes it all out. And that's pretty cool. So that was the first finger, and now that I think about it, it makes more sense to just duplicate the whole area orientation group instead of duplicating the one controller. So let's do that. Duplicate. I'm gonna call this index. Index. And then I'm gonna snap it to the other joint by holding V. I'm gonna select the group, and I'm gonna select the joint, press P, and I'm gonna zero it all out. So you can see this aligns a bit more nicely with the our joint, but it's still not totally in the right place. So if I zero all these out, okay, this is weird. Let me try again. Okay, so we got the index orient group, and we're gonna hold V to snap it while that is selected. And then we're gonna, with the first group selected, we're gonna shift select the joint and press P. And then we're gonna zero out the rotation. And that makes more sense. So now it's totally aligned. If you press Shift P now, it will unparent it. And still, if you select the controller, it's all zeroed out, but if you select the group, you can see it has some stuff in it. So I'm actually just gonna select the two groups, and I'm gonna go to freeze transformation option box, and I'm gonna freeze the translate on them. And then I'm gonna select the group out in the outliner. I'm gonna duplicate it, snap it to the last joint. With the group selected, I'm gonna shift select the joint, press P, zero out the rotation, and you can see this is this should be rotated a bit also. So I'm just gonna select the first joint and rotate it a bit so it fits the hand more naturally, and also rotate it a bit down because you can see it gets a bit crooked now. And that's it. So I'm gonna select, if you select the controller, you won't select the whole group, and this can be a trap because you want to select the whole group. The whole group is the one you can move around and stuff like that. So if you select the controller, you can press the up arrow to get the group, and you can see it has now some translation. If you press Shift P, you go out of the group, and you should call this, I believe it's the ring finger. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna call it that. So if we select the group, you can see it has some transformations. I'm gonna freeze the transformation option box again and make sure we only got the translate, apply. And this was for the first three fingers. If you have a fourth or fifth finger, you'll just need to do the same routine as we did before. Now somebody was very wise and told me that I got a joint too much in the hand or in the thumb, and that's totally right. So we actually don't need the first joint, but I think we should keep it anyway. But I would like to rotate it a bit so it fits a bit more naturally, because this second joint should be closer to the originally hand. Yeah, originally hand. Okay, so I'm gonna scale it a bit, and the second joint, it should be around where I made 3 edge loops, because that is where I planned my deformation, and it will deform more nicely if it fits the deformation. So what I'm doing now is I'm just scaling the joints, or I could actually move it, but only in one axis. So I'm gonna move it a bit, and let's check. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna rotate it a bit, and I'm doing this because I'm just trying to fit it more nicely, because it will make the deformation more nice. So I'm rotating it, making it fit, and you should obviously do the same thing. And you want it to be in the middle of the mesh. Oops, I think I did something wrong. I'm just gonna rotate this back. Yes, because you want to rotate the root joint instead. So you can see it's beginning to fit a bit more nicely. And if you select it, you can see that it will be kind of rotating in the axis you want. You can't really be totally sure about the axis, simply because it's organic, but the thumb is always the trickiest one, because it can move all directions. But I think this is a good solution. So I'm just gonna select the first OEM group. You can do it in the outliner, or you can select the controller and press the up arrow to get the orientation group. You're just gonna hold down Control D to duplicate it, and I'm gonna rename it T for thumb, and then I'm gonna move it. Oops. Yes, I'm gonna select the OEM group. I'm gonna hold down V, and I'm gonna move it to the thumb. And then again with the OEM group selected, I'm gonna shift select the joint, press P, and I'm gonna zero out all the rotation. And then it disappeared. Let's try to rotate it up. Okay. Ah, come on. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what the rotation should be of this. So we want it to be aligned, and you can see that now it got these rotations out in the outliner. So I'm just gonna freeze the transformations. I'm gonna select option box and make sure that rotation and scale is selected. Yes, and then I'm gonna press Shift P to ungroup it. I'm gonna go to modify again, option box, and then I'm gonna make sure that only translate is selected and also scale actually. Yes, and that's it for the controllers. We will be going on to the next part, which is connecting the joints to the controllers, so the controllers will be controlling the joints.